Hello there everyone, GrimmChorizo here, and welcome to Ringside Predictions, where I give you my predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view. So this Sunday's Payback, so let's get in to my Payback predictions. So first off, I just want to say that I think that Payback has been one of the best built-up pay-per-views in a long time. Basically since WrestleMania, I think all of the Raws and SmackDowns have been very entertaining. I've had, when watching the recording and not live, I have minimal fast-forwarding. The stories have actually made sense and been entertaining. All the characters have been given, even the lower card have been given storylines to work with. People have been elevated to main event status, even if it's just for the time being. Everything seems to make sense. Everything seems to be, working towards something and have direction. And Shane and control of Raw has just been awesome. So I want to just applaud WWE for a good month so far leading up to this pay-per-view. It's done a good job of getting me hyped up for Payback. So on the pre-show, it's going to be a WrestleMania rematch. Kalisto defending the United States Championship against Ryback. So there was really no build to this other than they had a match at WrestleMania. Kalisto won. I thought Ryback was going to win. Kalisto won. Then they're not on TV until maybe last week. Then Ryback beats Kalisto clean on SmackDown, and now they have a title match again. So obviously they didn't have any plans going forward for the US title. They were like, shit, Payback's next week. We need a match. Fuck it. We'll just do the same match. Ryback beats Kalisto. I can see this going either way, but honestly, I'm going to predict Ryback again because I thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania. Why would they do a rematch when Kalisto already beat him if Ryback isn't going to win? I don't think Ryback is the best choice to get the U.S. title. I think there's a list of people who could do better with it, like Stardust or Tyler Breeze, or maybe if Neville came back, he could get it. And a lot of people who could get it, or just John Cena when he returns. But that kind of goes into my prediction. I think Ryback is going to win it, kind of be a transitional champion. John Cena returns on Memorial Day, feuds with Ryback, and takes the U.S. title back again to elevate it. So that's what I think. I think Ryback will win the U.S. title from Kalisto. Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. So this will be Baron Corbin's second WWE pay-per-view match. His first one being his debut at WrestleMania, winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Dolph Ziggler has basically been put in as the guy to make Baron look good. I like Baron Corbin. I'm really excited that he's on the main roster. I like how he's been used so far. Basically, he hasn't lost. He's destroyed people, but it hasn't been like 7-second matches like it was in NXT. He's looked strong, and he's got an awesome entrance. He's got to cut some promos, but he's got to keep that character he had in NXT, which I think is great. Honestly, there's no chance that Baron Corbin does not win his match, and he should. So I predict Baron Corbin defeats Dolph Ziggler. So at Payback, Vince McMahon is going to decide the fate of Monday Night Raw. Who's going to run it? Honestly, I don't even really know. I think this is leading to a bigger storyline between the Authority versus Shane. So I could see Vince giving it back to Stephanie and Triple H, and Shane being like, well, I did so good, and then fighting them. But I could also see him giving it to Shane, the Authority being like, what the hell, and then fighting him. So I'm just going to say I think he's going to give it to Shane, because he's been like, wow, you've put on some really good shows this past week, and this pay-per-view is a big hit. So Shane, you can take control of Raw. This will upset the Authority. They will try and fight Shane and try and take power back. It'll lead to a match maybe at, SummerSlam or maybe sometime earlier. And then, who knows from there? But I think that Vince will give it to Shane. The finals of the number one contenders WWE Tag Team Championship Tournament, sponsored by Bootios, it's Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. So, if a month ago you told me that the tag team match for the number one contendership for the titles at the next pay-per-view would be between Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains, it would have been hard to believe. I assumed that Enzo and Cass would be called up after WrestleMania, but I didn't think the Vaudevillains would. But both of them have been extremely successful so far. Obviously, Enzo and Cass over since the second they walked through. Vaudevillains have had a little bit of a rougher time. For one, they're heels. Two, their gimmick is something that it hasn't been done before. It's different. A lot of people don't know how to react. But now that over the past few weeks they've gotten to cut some promos and show some character, that they're basically, from a bygone era, and they are the most manly men. I think it is working. I think both are working. People are starting to boo the Vaudevillains, which they're supposed to do, and loving Enzo and Cass because they're just so charismatic and awesome. So this is going to be a hell of a match. I'm really, really excited for this, but I think that the Vaudevillains are going to win. And when I saw the tournament that they announced the night after WrestleMania and saw the Vaudevillains were on there, I predicted the Vaudevillains would go all the way. I think that The idea is Vaudevillains, new team who, like I was saying, are going to need a little bit more work to get completely over, just because a lot of people, more of the casuals, I don't think are going to fully get it. Even as heels, I don't think they're going to get behind it. But by giving them credibility, having them win this tournament, and go on to beat the New Day and become the tag team champs, they are credible. So I think that the idea behind it is give them the titles, or at least give them a legit push for the titles, and it will make them a big deal. But I think that the Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass have both been killing it. So excited to have them on the main roster. Honestly, with all these NXT call-ups, I'm more into the main roster than I am NXT, which usually I'm more in the NXT than the main roster. But like I was saying, WWE's just been doing a good job this past month. But yeah, my prediction, Vaudevillains beat Enzo and Cass, because can't believe I didn't even mention this yet. Because the Dudley Boys, I think, will cost Enzo and Cass the match. They've had a feud basically since the night after WrestleMania. Enzo and Cass beat Dudley's, eliminated them from the tournament. Dudley's haven't been seen since. I think Enzo and Cass will be winning the match. Dudley's come out, distract them, attack them or something. It allows Vaudevillains to get the win, and this sets up for a tables match at Extreme Rules between Enzo and Cass versus the Dudley Boys. Charlotte, with Ric Flair in her corner, defending the WWE Women's Championship against Natalya with Bret Hart in her corner. This is one that, when they announced it or started the storyline, it wasn't hard to predict at all. Charlotte wins. But as the build has been going on more, and as I started, coming up with my predictions, it's gotten a little bit harder. I honestly am going to predict that Natalya wins the Women's Championship. Now, I know it sounds crazy, and like 2 weeks ago, I would have thought it sounded crazy too. But just the more the build is going, how many times can they actually have Ric Flair cost an opponent a match or help Charlotte win? And now that they've got Bret Hart, a legend, this is a match that they did at NXT TakeOver. Obviously, they're not going to bring that up. And Charlotte won that time. They had Bret in Natalya's corner. They had Rick in Charlotte's corner. Now they're doing the same thing just about 2 years later. Can the same outcome happen? And Bret, just got over cancer. I'm not saying that they're going to, use that, but, I don't see how many times they can have Rick do the same thing and Charlotte cheat. I know that's the whole point, but eventually there has to be some bit of revenge and some bit of retaliation. And with Bret being out there, I think now is the time. Give Natalya the title, and I think they're going to do it. Also because I think that there's a lot of heel victories on this pay-per-view from my predictions, and I think Natalya could get this thing. So I'm just going to go out, crazy prediction, Natalya wins the Women's Championship. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. This match had some seeds planted way back at, Night of Champions last year, with the shoulder bump after Jericho, Ambrose, and Reigns lost to the Wyatt family. But now that Jericho has officially turned heel, he has been just killing it. Amazing. So glad he's turned. He's been obviously great in the ring, but so good on the mic. All heels should take some pointers from him. But he started a rivalry with Dean Ambrose after WrestleMania, and they've got a match at Payback. I'm going to say that Dean Ambrose defeats Chris Jericho, but I don't think this will be the end of the rivalry. I think it'll go on for at least another pay-per-view, maybe one more after that. But I think Ambrose will get the win this one. Intercontinental title match, The Miz with Maurice versus Cesaro. So, this one was another one that was kind of hard to predict. Cesaro's so hot, everyone loves him, he needs something, he'd be the perfect Intercontinental Champion, so why not give him the title? I think they're going to do that, but I don't think they're going to do it here at Payback. I think that The Miz, who, let's keep in mind, at last pay-per-view, Zack Ryder won the title. The night after, he dropped it to Miz, and Zack Ryder really hasn't been seen since. So that was basically Ryder just getting a WrestleMania moment. Whatever, I'm okay with it. Miz has been amazing, especially with Maurice. It's given him a new layer to his character. They've been hilarious. I think Miz is great with the IC title. But so would Cesaro. This is why this is such a good feud that can go either way. My prediction is that Cesaro wins the match, but it's by DQ. Maurice will get involved, maybe attack Cesaro, maybe distract the ref, and basically I think that it will cause a disqualification. Cesaro will be pissed. This will lead to a rematch in some form of stipulation match at Extreme Rules. Maybe no DQ, maybe, I don't know, Extreme Rules, which is basically the same thing. Cage match, table match, I don't know, just any form of stipulation match for Extreme Rules between Cesaro and Miz, and I think Cesaro would win the title there. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. So in their first WWE pay-per-view match outside of NXT, we're going to see these two go at it, one-on-one. This is going to be awesome. There's so many ways that they could book it. In the past, Owens has basically always had the upper hand on Zayn. The night Owens debuted and Sami won the title, Owens just lays him out. Then Owens beats him for the title at NXT TakeOver Rival. Then the next pay-per-view, he retains it and basically takes Sami Zayn out of action for almost a year. And now here we are again. So do you give Sami the win here and get a little revenge on Owens? Or do you, go with the story and have Owens destroy him again? Because that's how all their matches have been. But do we think Sami has been elevated and he's like in kayfabe and his character, he's stronger, he knows what to expect, he's going to be able to put up a better fight? Because I think this is going to be an even match. I don't think it's going to be like their NXT matches where Owens just kind of dominated. But I can't pick a winner, so I'm not going to. I'm going to say that this is a double countout because this is the type of feud that needs to go for a long time. It's already been going for a long time, but now it's exposed to a larger audience, and they've done a good job of the people who don't understand their NXT history and before NXT, they've done a good job of showing those videos and talking about it in promos and on commentary to show that this is a real rivalry that has gone on for a long time and needs to go on for a long time from here. So I think this is a type of rivalry that'll go for a little bit, stop, they'll, come face to face every now and then it'll pick up later. Kind of like Shawn Michaels and Triple H years ago. And Austin and Rock and stuff like that, or at least that's how it should be. But for this match, I think it's going to be a double countout. So the two are just fighting, and then they just, during the match, they both go outside, and they're just so heated that they just start battling maybe into the crowd, and they both get counted out. And this can set up to like a Falls Count Anywhere match at Extreme Rules. So that way, neither one loses, but neither one wins here. And then at Extreme Rules, they'll have another match, and then maybe they'll both be in Money in the Bank after that. I don't know, just a way to keep the feud going on. So I think, it's going to be double countout. Neither one wins. And then the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns, the new champion after defeating Triple H in a boring main event at WrestleMania, versus AJ Styles, the number one contender who won the shot at the title the night after WrestleMania. They've done a good job with this story by introducing former Bullet Club members, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, bringing them to Raw. They're basically like, we're buddies with AJ. We go back to Japan. We got each other's back. But they attack Roman. AJ's like, I didn't have anything to do with that. They're just my friends, but I didn't say attack you or anything like that. Roman is like, dude, I don't believe you. And it leads to a good story. It's actually interesting. You want to see what's going to happen. So I think that Roman Reigns walks out of here with the world title. Here's how I think it's going to go down. Roman and AJ are having a match. During the match, Anderson and Gallows come out. AJ's like, guys, I like you, but I don't need you. I don't want you to help. Don't interfere. I want to win the title my way. I want to do it myself. So don't interfere. Just stay out of it. They're going to try. AJ's like, guys, fucking stop. And it's going to, by him, talking to them or pushing them or something, it's going to be a distraction enough for Reigns to spear AJ and get the win. So basically, AJ's going to kind of cost himself the match by not having them help him. But then Anderson and Gallows are going to be like, all right, fine, you don't want our help? Whatever. The next night on Raw, they debut their leader, Finn Balor, and they're like, we tried to help you, you obviously didn't want it, so we've got someone who we can help and we can align with. And it's going to start up this big feud between, Reigns, AJ, and Finn or something, I don't know. But that's what I think is going to happen. Reigns is going to win. AJ is not going to align with Anderson and Gallows, and as awesome as it would be, I don't think that Reigns is going to align with Anderson and Gallows either. So those are my Payback predictions. Like I said, I think it's going to be a really good show. The build-up has been awesome. Let's hope the pay-per-view lives up to it. A lot of stuff has happened in this past month. NXT call-ups, a lot of them. I mean, we've had Corbin, Apollo Crews, who's not on the card, Enzo and Cass, and the Vaudevillains. Just a lot at one time, but it doesn't feel like anyone is getting used badly. They're almost all on the card, and it just feels like a new era. I know we kind of say that every year after WrestleMania, but so far so good. So thanks for watching my predictions. Be sure to let me know yours in the comments if you want, and let me know if you agree, disagree. And be sure to come back next month. It'll be Extreme Rules. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys later.